So I'm Jeanne, I'm 36. I've been working for more than 10 years now. It's been 11 years, something like that. I started in digital agency. The first one was BMPC, which is one of the biggest digital agency and creative agency in France. And then I kept going on my career and recruited by Proximity, which is a TWA company now because it has been merged. And basically, I've been working, the main brands I've been working on are either bank, like Crédit Agricole, or luxury and leisure and entertainment. So the main brands are Crédit Agricole, Chanel, Villa. I don't know if you know that brand. Well, all the Villa brands in the Coty group, and Elite.
Okay.
And Disney company, the main ones are the one I talked about before. And then after that, my former boss came and recruited me and work at the French Rugby Union, basically to build and develop the digital transformation and the communication transformation.
Interesting experience. And I guess to bring back into the focus on this interview is when was the last time you had to implement organic content campaigns as the growth strategy? Maybe you could describe a bit more about that time.
Well, I've done it quite a few times, but the last time was last Friday for the first Six Nation game. So it was a big game. We had to prepare and work on organic content and whole strategy to make sure that we captivate, keep engaging our audience, and we get to perpetuate few more followers because that was basically on social media, but we had to work also on the CRM strategy and that course as well.
Okay. And what steps did you take to implement organic growth campaigns?
Well, it's quite simple, really. We worked on the strategy and then we worked on the creative assets with my teams on the ideations. And then we have a few tools we use to produce content. We produce the masters and then we automatically declined everything. I don't know if that's the right word in English. We did the master template and then we did all the rest automatically with AI.
That makes sense. And I guess what was the most difficult in that process?
Find the time to put together a strategy because basically my team is not really big because we are a union, so we don't have much budget. We have to work really closely, and the team have to make the time for my team to work on the strategy with me, and then we have to produce all the content.
Okay, so it's very labor intensive, and the strategy part is hard to find.
It's more right finding the time because when I write 7 years ago, we had nothing, no structure, no content plan, no tools to produce content. And I worked with my team. We together restructure process to make sure that we anticipate what we can, max content we can anticipate, and then we produce it in advance and then adjust it when the time comes. It's pretty time and cost effective for my team. And that's how it works.
Makes sense. If you had unlimited resources like time, people, money, what would you do in that process?
What I would improve in that process, I would try to find a tool that will allow my team to be more creative. Because today they have a lot to produce, even though we are already using AI tool. So I'd like to find a tool that helps them adjust content at the right time to make sure that they just have to validate it or read it, but with enough setbacks. I would like for them to have a tool that allows that. Because for me, it's easier. I mean, 80% of my time is management and strategy. So I have 20% of operational work. So it's okay because I can manage. But for them, I'd like them to have more time to think. We have made some great improvements, but I think what would be, it's what company need. Today, we are struggling with, I would say, HR to make sure that we have not too much people that, not
It's like,
and then it's everywhere with the recession and everything. Basically, you have that issue, and then you have the issue to say, okay, what tools do I have to invest in to make sure that ROI, return on investments, is the right one, because we investing in tools in the past and then it's costly in time, especially for my team. So what I would like to do is make sure that we have the right tools. Today, I would say we roll out 60-70% with the right tool. We need one more tool to make sure that they do have a bit more time, and then it will be going smooth.
That's amazing. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard someone describe a tool so well, like that. That's what would make a difference. I can tell that you guys experimented with lots of solutions and you're quite mathematical about it. It sounds very clear how you describe it.
Because what we need is that to make sure that we work in communication, right? So what we produce is not performance related. When you talk to the CEO or the CFO to get your budget, if you say, "Well, I really want this tool is going to make this content really great," or fun, but at the end of the day, what's the business related input? How much it's going to cost and how much they're going to earn? So basically, if you present your plan as an investment plan with your tool, saying, "Okay, this tool costs $10,000 a year, but with this tool, I'm say 2 hours per day for 3 people." Then you salary those 3 people, and you calculate how much you can actually win as time and as savings with the company. So you can use that time in something else. The first cost me you're gonna get, and then the second one is you have to track what is the incremental followers, what is the incremental client data that you're gonna get through this tool. That can help you to get some new leads, get some new prospects. And then you can say, okay, it's $10,000 a year. But then in 1 year and a half, you're going to profit 20,000, 30,000. And then it's really cost effective for a CFO and the CEO. This is how you get to pay your tool.
Yeah, the CFO, we send the PDF to CFO one separately on the side. Makes sense.
That's really cool. And that's really important. CMOs, chief communication officers, and content producers present your tool as an investment, short, middle, and long term. It's going to help them stick to their CFO and their CEO, and then therefore,
Yeah,
it's a win-win.
makes sense. And I guess while we're on this topic, like, is there anything else you would add while we're in this headspace of like future of organic growth and this process of implementing it? So would you add anything else?
You have to make sure that you leave room for people that use the tool creatively. Sometimes minds don't want to be restrained. It's easier for them to make the kickoff and the starts of the creative thinking, and then the tool can help them. For example, if you take most creative people, don't shoot them with a prompt saying, "Okay, produce that to me." They usually say, "I would like to do this and that. I already did that. Can you improve?" So basically, if you're doing organic growth, that's how, because people want to have the upper hand. So if they're not at the beginning or the center of the coordination, the first year, they're going to feel like they don't have the imposter syndrome, that's for sure. But if they are at the beginning of the creation and the tool is just an assistant or a push, then they're going to feel empowered, and then they're going to keep using it. They're going to say, "That's a great tool because I'm empowered. I'm at the beginning of the story, but this tool helps me to make it better."
Yeah, makes sense. Interesting.
It's one of the main fears that managers have to deal with today. Main teams are a bit afraid that if they're starting using like an IA tool, an EA tool, sorry, artificial intelligence, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, my English is not that good.
It's very good.
So basically, they are really afraid that then people are going to say, "Oh, but you're an imposter because you're using AI." But no, I'm not. I'm telling my team every day. I'm telling them, they're not you. You're at the beginning of the story. You're at the end. Just helping you through the process. And basically, if you're not using it, you're going to get behind. And that's how you're going to get off the work market. But if you want to go ahead, then master the AI tool, because especially content production and growth, if you're not using that right now, or at least learning to use it, You're going to get way less efficient than the people who are going to come into the work market like in 2 or 3 years.
Start learning now to remain in the job tomorrow. Businesses will outcompete pure human labor.
Especially in my team, I have middle managers, senior people, and interns and scholarships. So read junior people. And it's really funny because the middle manager is like, oh no, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, but you're supposed to help your team understand that this is vital for their career. They need to get that into their heads that it's going to be there, whether they like it or not. Usually I compare that to the internet. And I say, okay, when internet arrived, people were like, I don't know. It's like when, and like also compare it to advertisement on Facebook. Yes, I knew that. You don't, but I was already, I was a student still. I used to work on that when I was a student. But when advertisements arrived on Facebook, with like people were like, no, it's right, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually it happened, and then you have to deal with it. So either you go against the stream, and then you're gonna use your energy in the wrong way
Yeah.
because you're gonna get tired and you're gonna get exhausted.
It's an adopt or die. That makes sense. Adopt.
That's life.
And I guess these are really interesting insights.